잠시 안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 미래 세대를 위한 푸른 하늘 그리고 2050 탄소 중립 그린 스마트 교육 행사가 잠시 후에 시작될 예정입니다. 내빈 여러분들은 자리에 착석해 주시기 바랍니다. 더불어 원활한 행사 진행을 위해 소지하고 계신 휴대폰은 전원을 꺼두시거나 무음으로 해주시면 감사하겠습니다. 그리고 오늘 행사는 통역 수신기가 배부됩니다. 통역 수신기 켜주시고 언어 선택을 1번 한국어, 2번 영어로 설정하실 수 있습니다. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Korea, Denmark, and Colombia Green Smart Education for Future Generation will soon begin. Please be seated and turn off your mobile phone or put it on silent mode. And interpreter receivers are offered, so you can set the language Korean in number 1, English in number 2. So please set your receiver. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, hello. I'm a former KBS announcer and now international MC Seojin Lee in Korea. Nice to meet you. Today, I'm so excited to get an opportunity to start this event. Korea, Denmark, and Colombia, Green Smart Education for Future Generation for Blue Skies, and Net Zero 2050, Green Smart Education. It's an honor for me to be with you today. Prior to entering, this event is held in response to the COVID-19 situation, so it is being carried out in compliance with the quarantine guidelines. While busy, I appreciate your attending and joining this event both online and offline. Also, via YouTube, this international conference is being broadcasting globally. I hope you can learn various messages from this conference for the Green Smart Education for a future generation. Those who cannot participate in the field due to COVID-19 can join us through Chungcheongnam-Do official channel on YouTube. Absolutely, any audience can participate in this conference via YouTube chat box. 자, 그럼 오늘 이 자리에 참석해 주신 내빈 여러분들을 소개해 드리겠습니다. Here and now, I'm delighted to introduce our VIPs. Kim Pan, 8th Secretary General of the United Nations and Chairperson of Global Green Growth Institute, GGGI, is attending here. Thank you very much. Seung-jo Yang, Governor of Chungcheongnam-Do, the Republic of Korea, is also presented. Thank you. Frank Risbermong, Director General of GGGI, is also joining us. Next, Juan Carlos Kaiser Rosero, Ambassador in Embassy of Colombia and Korea. Thank you. Yannick Glamaruk, Executive Director of Green Climate Fund, GCF, is here. Lastly, Ji-chul Kim, Governor of Chungcheongnam-Do Office of Education, the Republic of Korea. Now, Kim Pan, 8th Secretary General and Chairperson of GGGI, will address the opening remark. Please give him a big round of applause.
Honorable Governor of Chungcheongnam-Do Province, Yang Seung-jo, His Excellency Ambassador of Colombia to Korea, Juan Carlos Kaiser Rosero, Executive Director of Green Climate Fund, GCF, Yannick Glemarek, Director General of Global Green Growth Institute, GGGI, Frank Rice-Berman, Superintendent of Education of Chungcheongnam-Do Province, Kim Ji-chul, all distinguished participants joining us online, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great pleasure to be here today, where like-minded people like yourselves have gathered with a shared mission to design and facilitate green smart education for our future generations. As you would already know, Partnering for Green Growth and the Global Goals 2030, or P4G Summit, is a global platform that focuses on strengthening public-private partnerships to build sustainable and resilient economies. It is my distinct pleasure to see that the second P4G Summit is being held in my home country, Korea. Since its launch in September 2017, the first P4G Summit was held in Copenhagen, Denmark in October 2018. During this summit, the Copenhagen Commitment to Action was adopted by P4G country partners, demonstrating a strong commitment to develop and accelerate concrete market-driven solutions centering on the 5 areas of food and agriculture, water, energy, cities, and circular economy. The Copenhagen Commitment to Action holds significant meaning in that we have agreed upon the need to scale up our collective efforts to pass down a cleaner future to our future generations. Excellencies, distinguished guests, a guiding philosophy that has been underlying Korea's education and culture throughout history has been humanitarianism, which is a doctrine based on a view that all human beings deserve respect and dignity and should be treated as such. It is an expression comprising 4 Chinese characters, which literally means it is a people's duty to promote others' welfare. To put it into context, I would think that humanitarianism in the 21st century holds relevance when we choose to bear the inconvenience in daily life, to coexist with nature in harmony, and place the interest of future generations before ours. While the COVID-19 pandemic is still holding us in its grip longer than a year since the outbreak, scientists point to the climate crisis as the root cause of the pandemic. Now it's time for us to take the old wisdom from humanitarianism, as the climate crisis is projected to bring about a catastrophic future. In the face of the new normal and the COVID-19 era, many are calling for the need for climate and environmental education based on heightened sense of urgency. People are raising questions over conventional education, that is linear fashioned learning based on a top-down approach. Students are voluntarily forming global movements like Fridays for Future. All this proves that now is time for a new spirit of times and new perspectives. Taking note that the future is in the hands of our youth, so we must listen to their voices and work hand in hand based on global solidarity to cultivate global citizenship in our youth. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today I'd like to propose a youth-driven civic education on climate and environment based on inter-municipal cooperation of three primary stakeholders: Chungcheongnam-Do province of Korea, Copenhagen of Denmark, and Bogota of Colombia. This would be the first attempt to take a bottom-up approach in forging inter-municipal cooperation for carbon neutrality, harnessing green smart technologies. With your high interest and strong support, I firmly believe that this ambitious goal is within reach. In this regard, I wholeheartedly welcome Korea and Denmark jointly launching the pilot projects on green smart education in Chungcheongnam-Do province. I have high expectation for these projects to be taken place in Bogota, Colombia in the near future. Once again, I appreciate your keen interest and engagement. I wish this special session ends in big success, bringing us together and closer to a future where our children can enjoy innovative climate and environmental education and grow into environmentally conscious adults. Ladies and gentlemen, Excellency, this is our moral and political responsibility to make sure that we leave this planet Earth and our future to our future generations to succeed in sustainable environment. Thank you. Muchas gracias. 감사합니다.
Thank you for your wonderful opening remark. Next, Yannick Glamaruk, Executive Director of Green Climate Fund, GCF, will address a congratulatory remark. Please give him a big round of applause.
Excellencies, dear colleagues, dear friends, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on your geographic location. On behalf of the Green Climate Fund, I would like to deeply thank the 8th Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, for the invitation to attend this event and to witness the signing of this important agreement to promote civic education on carbon neutrality. Climate change is the biggest challenge of our time. It is already impacting upon our life, particularly those in developing countries who are experiencing its worst impact. But we know that it will pose an even greater challenge for future times and future generations. The IPCC warned us that we have less than a decade to avoid the worst climate impacts, but the UNFCCC indicated earlier this year that we are currently nowhere close to keeping the global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius. We have the greatest youth cohort in history, and their voices have never been as powerful as today. Youth climate movements are galvanizing galvanizing force for more ambitious and urgent climate action. We need the activisms of youth to help drive more change and reach our climate goals. Many innovative ideas will be discussed during this week's P4G summit. But the truth is that innovation does not always benefit everyone equally. We need to make sure that new climate solutions to adapt to the impact of climate change and to transition to a net zero carbon world benefits developing countries as well as developed countries, and women as well as men. And that they are applied as tools to remove, not to entrench, inequality and discrimination. Much of that task will fall to this coming generation. The Green Climate Fund is determined to help the most vulnerable, particularly those from least developed countries, small island developing states, and African states, so that together we can achieve the aim of the Paris Agreement. But we cannot achieve this mission without empowered and engaged young people. With my deepest congratulations for this initiative today, let us listen to the voice of youth and empower them so that we can together face our climate crisis. Thank you very much for your attention. Kamsahamnida.
Thank you very much. All right, Frank Risberman, Director General of Global Green Growth Institute, GGGI, will address another congratulatory remark. Please give him a big round of applause.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most encouraging signs I see in the world today is the interest in sustainability, climate change, and green growth of young people. Personally, I've worked on these issues of climate change for some 40 years, but during most of that time, issues of climate change were mostly discussed among scientists. I was genuinely surprised to see young people take to the streets in the school strike for climate in 2019. That, I think, was the first year that the streets full of people were demanding climate action from their governments. A very encouraging sign, but also quite a sad thing, because I think the awareness of young people and the population at large has come because we are facing a deep sustainability crisis. The pandemic, of course, the air pollution here in Seoul, but throughout Asia, killing 7 million people every year, the plastic crisis killing our oceans, the biodiversity loss and mass species extinction. We truly are living through an unprecedented sustainability crisis. And it is therefore a must to strengthen green education from a very early age. GGGI has been glad to help develop green growth and sustainability education programs for primary school children, for instance, in Mongolia, that reached some 12,000 children a couple of years ago. And last year, during the pandemic, for Colombia, we organized an online green growth course and were surprised to see more than 20,000 people sign up. So there is indeed a deep interest in the subject, and I think GGI not only believes that we should educate people, but help them come up with solutions. We have programs, for instance, to help young people that want to become green entrepreneurs, mentor them, start businesses, work on the innovation that we need to see the solutions for these problems. So yes, in short, I strongly support the need for smart green education, and I would like to congratulate the organizers for arranging this event, and I wish it every success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. 네, 그럼 지금부터 오늘 행사의 첫 번째 세션을 시작하도록 하겠습니다. 첫 번째 세션은 환경 보호를 향한 한국과 덴마크, 콜롬비아의 학생들의 메시지가 담긴 영상에 이어 발표가 있겠습니다. Students from Korea, Denmark, and Colombia sent messages to future generation about environmental protection for blue sky. They also expressed their commitment to environmental practice for blue sky. Okay, let's watch the video.
These days, as climate change due to environmental pollution is becoming more serious, various activities and projects related to solving or mitigating climate change are being done at school. As the government's effort. For example, reducing the frequency of riding cars or eating meat to reduce carbon emissions is something that only private citizens can do. Without proper awareness education,
Okay, so there is an air pollution crisis causing the premature death of 7 billion people each year. And being here in South Korea, where a sky covered by fine dust is a regular view, I'm often reminded of the harm we're causing the planet. So what would it be that if we every day are required to wear a mask because the air is simply too dangerous to breathe? Therefore, I'm fighting for a fresh, clean, and blue sky for the sake of a higher life quality and a healthy planet and for future generation. And that's a fight I hope that the older generation will join in on too. As an engineering student graduating next year, I'm devoted to work with the green transition and to promote sustainable solutions. And I want to bring innovative ideas into the world which will protect the blue sky.
Well, I would like to encourage all generations to protect the environment by using more electrical vehicles, or even riding the bike or walking to the market or to all those places they have to go. Because I'm thinking here in Korea, I noticed like the fine dust is very a hard thing here in Korea, and I would like to enjoy and have more better quality air in the country and in the city. What I would like to do to protect the skies, as I mentioned, I'm starting riding the bike to go to the local market. I'm trying to use more the public transportation service and try to avoid buying maybe products that will pollute the environment. So trying to buy more local products with less transportation ways, and yeah, that's pretty much what I will do.
네, 비디오 영상 아주 잘 봤습니다. 그럼 지금부터 발표 순서를 진행하도록 하겠습니다. From now on, we'll start a special presentation. I introduce Mr. Seung-jo Yang, Governor of Chungcheongnam-Do, the Republic of Korea. He delivers the Green Smart Education for Future Generation based on the Global Intermunicipal Cooperation. 네, 양승조 충청남도지사님 무대 위로 올라와 주시기 바랍니다. 네, 여러분 큰 박수 보내주십시오. Please give him a big round of applause.
예, 여러분 대단히 반갑습니다. 저는 대한민국 충청남도 도지사 양승조입니다. 충청남도가 P4G 정상이 녹색미래 주간을 덴마크, 콜롬비아와 함께 공동 주최하게 되어 대단히 기쁘게 생각합니다. 뜻깊은 행사를 주관해 주신 존경하는 반기문 위원장님 진심으로 존경과 감사 인사를 드립니다. 또 함께해 주신 야닉 클레마렉 녹색기후기금 사무총장님, 프랭크 리즈버만 글로벌 녹색 성장기구 사무총장님, 후안 칼로스 카이샤 로세로 대사님과 김지철 교육감님께 진심으로 깊은 존경과 감사 인사를 거듭해서 드립니다. 특별히 저에게 오늘 발언의 기회를 주셔서 매우 영광으로 생각한다는 말씀을 드립니다. 오늘 저는 대한민국 지방정부를 대표해서 미래 세대의 푸른 하늘을 위한 지방정부의 글로벌 교육 핵심 모델에 대해서 말씀을 드리고자 합니다. 세계는 지금 코로나19 팬데믹을 함께 맞으며 연대와 협력의 중요성에 대해 더욱 절실히 깨닫고 있습니다. 특히 기후변화의 영역에서 국제사회와 세계 시민의 공조와 협력은 더욱 중요해지고 있습니다. 협력은 이제 선택이 하는 필수입니다. 지구의 미래는 우리 협력에 달려 있습니다. 세계가 미래 세대를 위해 또 푸른 하늘을 위해 더 강하게 협력해야 하는 시점입니다. 그런 점에서 오늘 제가 소개해드리는 대한민국의 그린 스마트 교육 모델은 덴마크, 콜롬비아와 함께 노력해서 푸른 하늘과 깨끗한 지구를 만드는 세계의 모범 사례가 될 것이라고 저는 확신하고 있습니다. 앞으로 한국과 덴마크, 콜롬비아가 더욱 긴밀하게 협력하는 가운데 좋은 성과와 결실을 만들어 국제사회로 더욱 널리 확산되도록 최선을 다하겠다는 말씀을 드립니다. 존경하는 내기민 여러분, 먼저 충청남도에 대해 간략하게 설명드리겠습니다. 충청남도는 대한민국의 중심부에 위치하고 있습니다. 인구는 220만 명, 면적은 8,246제곱킬로미터에 달합니다. 17개 시도 중 GRDP 3위, 수출액 2위, 무역흑자액 1위, 산업과 농업, 경제와 문화가 고르게 발전하고 있는 구장입니다. 행복의 가치를 중요하게 여기며 도민 누구나 동등한 권리로 존중받으며 더불어 잘 사는 조화로운 삶을 꿈꾸고 있습니다. 특히 우리 충청남도는 기후변화 대응을 선도하며 탈석탄 금고선언, 화력발전소 조기 폐쇄, 정의로운 에너지 전환, 미세먼지 저감 정책, 2050 탄소 중립 선언 등 국가의 탄소 중립과 지속가능 발전을 이끌며 다양한 모범 정책을 앞장서서 실천해 나가고 있습니다. 또 탈석탄 동맹, 언더투 연합, 탈석탄 국제 컨퍼런스 등 국제사회와의 연대와 공조활동에도 솔선하고 있습니다. 대한민국의 새로운 미래인 K그린 뉴딜 정책을 우리 충청남도가 선도하는 것도 다 이러한 이유 때문입니다. 그저 오늘 소개하고자 하는 그린 스마트 스쿨은 한국판 뉴딜 10대 대표 과제로 선정되어 지금 우리 충청남도와 교육청에서 역점적으로 추진 중에 있다는 말씀을 드립니다. 그린 스마트 스쿨이 꿈꾸는 미래는 너무나도 명확합니다. 자라나는 미래 세대들의 학습 공간부터 혁신기술을 도입해 재구조하고 기후위기에 대응, 탄소 중립을 실천하여 지속가능한 사회를 만드는 것입니다. 한국과 덴마크의 협력형 탄소 중립 리빙랩 실증 모델인 그린 스마트 스쿨은 덴마크의 우수 사례인 발트, 그린 뉴딜 정책이 결합된 미래 학교입니다. 친환경 건축 기술과 신재생 에너지, 물순환 기술 등을 이용하여 저탄소 제로에너지 그린 학교를 만드는 것이 목표입니다. 우리가 상상하는 미래 학교는 교육과정에서 미세먼지가 저감되고 탄소 배출이 감축되며 생태적 환경이 개선되는 실천적 학습 공간이 되어야만 합니다. 그래서 그린스마트 스쿨은 학생 건강을 우선하는 건축 기법의 도입과 학생 중심의 사용자 참여 설계를 통해 공간의 혁신적 활용을 목표로 합니다. 에너지 중심, 교육 중심, 조명 중심으로 노시설을 개선하고 학습 공간을 녹색화하며 학생들의 환경인식을 제고하는 가운데 환경과 에너지 교육을 강화할 것입니다. 이러한 충청남도의 실증 모델은 모듈화되어 대한민국 각 지역으로 확산될 것으로 기대합니다. 자라나는 우리 학생들이 기후변화의 중요성을 더욱 실감하고 이것이 바탕이 되어 지역의 혁신, 국가의 혁신으로 이어지게 될 것입니다. 공간과 기술의 혁신이 교육과 지역의 혁신으로 이어지는 것이 바로 우리가 꿈꾸는 그린 스마트 스쿨의 목표입니다. 이미 성공 사례로 자리 잡은 덴마크의 경험과 노하우를 중심으로 양국이 더욱 긴밀히 협력하는 가운데 연간 2만 명이 이용하는 충청남도 기후환경연수원에 도입될 것이며 충남교육청과 함께 그린 스마트 스쿨을 정착, 충남과 대한민국의 푸른 하늘과 새로운 미래를 그려나가겠습니다. 한국과 덴마크 지방정부가 협력하여 시작한 그린 스마트 스쿨이 국제사회의 새로운 모범이 되어 콜롬비아를 비롯한 더 많은 국가에 확산되어 나가길 기대합니다. 특히 피포지 회원국이 앞장서서 더 많은 지역사회에 실천하고 세계적으로 협력해 나가길 기원합니다. 이를 위해 충청남도가 앞장서겠습니다. 푸른 하늘, 깨끗한 지구의 미래는 우리들의 실천에 달려 있습니다. 미래 세대를 위해 우리에게 주어진 의무를 잊지 말아야 할 것입니다. 우리의 책임을 더는 희피하지 마시다. 미래 세대들이 우리를 바라보고 있습니다. 오늘 이 자리가 그 힘찬 출발의 첫걸음이 되길 바라며 더 좋은 지구의 미래를 함께 만들어 나갑시다. 감사합니다.
네, 발표해 주신 양승조 충청남도 지사님이 자리에 다시 돌아가고 계십니다. It was pleasant to have this session together. I hope this session could be valuable to audiences and other participants in this room too. I'm now closing this session. 그럼 잠시 오늘 행사의 두 번째 세션을 위해서 자리 준비를 하는 시간을 잠깐 갖도록 하겠습니다. 자리가 세팅되는 동안 여러분들 잠시만 기다려 주시면 감사하겠습니다. Ladies and gentlemen, please wait for a moment. We need a little moment for preparing next session. 네, 그럼 지금부터 오늘 행사의 두 번째 세션을 진행하도록 하겠습니다. Let's start session 2, the talk show. I introduce you Peter Norman Vangsbo, Executive Director, Innovation Center at the Embassy of Denmark in Korea, as a moderator. He will lead this talk show. Please give him a big round of applause. And 3 people are here and 3 people are online. So all 6 people will participate in this talk show. Let me call the names. Please come to the stage. Peter Norman Vangsbo and Jeff Wilcox, Managing Director, Rockwell Asia. Rasmus Vanguard Knudsen, Director General, Copenhagen Properties and Procurement. Copenhagen Municipality, Sunjin Yoon, Professor in Graduate School of Environmental Studies, Seoul National University, and Edna Bonilla, Superintendent of Education in Bogota, Colombia, and lastly, Lee Dong-gyu, Director General of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Korea. 네, 모두 자리해 주셨습니다. Mr. Peter Norman, please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today we are celebrating the second P4G Summit in amazing Dongdaemun Design Plaza. I'm very honored to be invited to facilitate this Future Generation session on green, smart education for Blue Sky on this very first day of the P4G Summit. Today, based on our ongoing smart energy relation between Chungcheongnam-Do and Denmark, we wish to connect innovation, policy, and living lab demonstration for green smart schools to be transitioned to Colombia. Buildings are one of our society's greatest energy consumers. It's representing almost 40% of all energy used. Energy retrofitting is and will be a part of creating smarter society. Energy retrofitting of public schools can be a fantastic platform to show our future generation how they can transition. This session today is bringing a great number of experts on different topics to discuss what do we do, how do we transition, how do we share experience, and how do we export new ideas and innovation to countries like Colombia. I would like to start the discussion with you, Jeff Wilcox, Rockwell CEO of Asia. You have experience in building construction, energy modeling, and environmental educational program globally. Can you please elaborate how Rockwell is working with energy retrofitting and education?
Thank you, Peter. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, educators and students, good evening from my home here in Singapore. Thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this discussion on future generation for blue skies and net zero 2050. Rockwell is a Danish company and is a world leader in manufacturing and marketing of stone wool insulation. We have operations spanning Europe and North America and most of Asia. In Asia, we have operations in China, India, Thailand, and Malaysia, and we export our products throughout the world, including to Korea and Colombia. Rockwool, as the name suggests, is made from rock or stone. We transform volcanic rock, spin it into fibers to form stone wool insulation. Stone is an abundant natural resource. Our products are ecologically sound, and best of all, they can be fully recycled time and time again, giving a full circularity. As a company, we support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, but made great progress in recent years in delivering on our mid ambitions to reduce production waste to landfill and to reduce the amount of water used in our manufacturing processes. In use, our stone wool insulation products save over 100 times the energy and carbon used in their manufacture. Rock wool is a highly energy efficient and fire resistant insulation material. Most recently in December 2020, we announced commitment to accelerate the decarbonisation of our business with specific long-term targets verified and approved by the Science Based Targets Initiative. These science-based targets will reduce our life cycle greenhouse gas emissions by 1/3 by 2034. We are also proud of the fact that for the second time, Trucost, part of the Standard & Poor Global, has classified all our products as being SDG positive, meaning that they have a positive impact on reaching the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Climate change, resource scarcity, rapid urbanisation, and the growing emphasis on human health and well-being create big challenges as well as opportunities for society. At Rockwool, we work to create safe and sustainable products that help people and the communities to thrive where they live, learn, work, and play. Indeed, stone wool is a versatile natural material with multiple benefits that make it ideal for applications in buildings, industry, transportation, horticulture, and water management. Let's just take a look at buildings. Heating and cooling of buildings consumes up to 40% of the total energy requirements worldwide. So a key to reducing carbon emissions is to make the buildings in which we live, work, learn, and play more energy efficient. In older cities, building renovation to higher standards of energy efficiency is key. And in newer cities, in countries that are efficient, is a key to reaching our goal of blue sky for future generations. Our purpose at Rockwool is to release the natural power of stone to enrich modern living. Using safe, sustainable products is a key to our ambition for future generations. The best energy saved is the energy never consumed. More energy efficient buildings reduce greenhouse gases, which will lead to bluer skies. In conclusion, I'd just like to quote the CEO of Rockwool, Jens Bergersen. Saving energy first and then using renewables is the most cost-effective way of decarbonising society. That is why we continue saying the best approach is to use less and green the rest. The solutions to many of the world's energy challenges already exist, especially in the built environment. We look forward to continuing to do our part to create more resilient, healthier and safer communities and a more circular economy. Despite the challenges still facing the global community, we're optimistic about the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeff. And to the rest of the speakers, I kindly ask you to limit your feedback in maximum 2 minutes. Director Rasmus Vanggaard Knudsen, in Copenhagen you have achieved significant energy reduction across all public buildings, including schools. Can you share with us how this was started and what was the effect and how is it connected to a learning environment? And Rasmus, we are not able to hear you. Have you muted? While you are doing that, I would like to go further on the row of questions. Professor Yoon, South Korea declared last year carbon neutrality in 2050. As an environmental policy expert, can you share your thoughts why eco-friendly education is important in Korea?
I think we should remember there is a saying, this planet is not maybe inherited from our ancestor, but we borrowed it from our future generation. So we cannot own this planet, and this planet cannot belong to us. We need to share this planet with our future generation and other species. In Korea, actually, it is true. Until now, our energy, environment, and climate change education was a little neglected. Because here, university entrance examination is very important. So everything is, everybody pursues that thing. So environmental education and especially climate education was not fully maybe educated at school. But we cannot deprive the future from our future generation. They have a right to decide their own destiny. And but last year, our governors of education of all countries around made a promise. They should take action to educate our future generation focused on environmental education, and our Ministry of Education adopted their suggestion. So I think there will be change. We need to educate, and I think they have the right to decide their own future. And actually, last year, our 19 youth made the sue. They asked our constitutional court, please decide your action is enough. You are take our future. So we are waiting for the decision. I hope we have a very maybe wonderful decision like Netherlands, France, and Germany. So our current generation should make more actions to protect ourselves and our future generation from climate crisis.
Thank you.
The target is set. The problem is how to make it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Yoon. Very important comments. Rasmus, should we check the sound in Copenhagen? Can we hear you?
Can you hear me, Peter?
Once again, please.
Maybe there's a little delay.
There is a slightly delay, but let us give it a try. I will just repeat my question. I know that in Copenhagen you have achieved a significant energy reduction across public buildings, including schools. Can you share with us how this was started and what was the effect and how was it connected to the learning environment?
Yes, thank you very much, Peter, and good afternoon from Copenhagen.
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for having me. This is a very important agenda. Copenhagen Properties and Procurement is responsible for the administration, maintenance, facility management, and overall operation of all city-owned buildings in the municipality of Copenhagen. We provide physical space for the municipality's core tasks, such as providing school, including good indoor air quality, motivating surroundings, etc. It is, however, also a core duty for us to run our buildings as cost-effective as possible and through this as energy efficient as possible. Until now, this goal have had two sides of the same coin. During the past 7 or 8 years, we have designed a large part of our technical upgrades as business cases with very short payback times. This includes, among other things, a portfolio-wide energy monitoring system where we are now able to track heat, electricity, ventilation, and water consumption centrally. Along this effort, we have streamlined and upgraded all the city's building management systems. We went from more than 60 ICT systems to 4 central ones. And I could talk about this for a long time, but this data-driven approach has been effective. We've reduced energy consumption in all of our buildings with approximately 20%, and city expenses with more than $6.5 million yearly, depending on the exchange rate. The data derived from these systems can be used in learning situations, and students can get local insights into how their school is performing and see for themselves what can influence energy consumption. We believe this is a very motivating approach. Many of these benefits and future perspectives, such as flexible energy consumption and indoor air quality monitoring, were not known to us when we created the first business cases. For us, pilot projects started this journey. Start small, scale quickly. The learning curve for us has been steep, and it has shown us that data-driven solutions achieve and give us glimpses of what the future holds. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you so much. Very good to hear some Danish practical cases. We will move further to Bogota in Colombia, and Superintendent Ms. Gonzalez. Is it understood that the Bogota city government has a very high interest in environmental education and willingness to promote policy-related aspects to its educational system? Can you share some of your activities and plans to further promote this?
Thank you very much. Good morning from Bogota. Superintendent Edna is not available to speak today, but on behalf of her and also on behalf of Mayor Claudia Lopez, I am happy to answer this question. Bogota has been committed since 2011 to a public policy on environmental education. And in this administration, the administration of Mayor Claudia Lopez, our second purpose is for Bogota to become a greener city committed to adaptation and mitigation to climate change. And environmental education is a cornerstone. It's absolutely central to this purpose. So we are working right now to strengthen the curricula, the pedagogic tool for teachers and students, and we are very, very much committed also to transform some of the ways the education system works. For example, in Bogota, we already have in place several pilot projects to take children to the schools by bicycle. As you well know, Bogota is a capital in Latin America that is very, very committed to the use of bike, and we have a security program to transport children by bike to schools. So we are also fostering a social and environmental program for the junior students before they graduate to develop environmental tasks. So they deepen their commitment to the climate change and the climate action. So we are very much looking forward to this partnership with Korea and other cities in Korea and also in Denmark to foster our infrastructures and our programs for environmental education. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Then I will ask you to be very specific in your reply to my next round of question. You only have 30 seconds, so it will only be a few bullets that should be a response to my questions. So Jeff, what collaboration could Rockwool imagine around smart energy school between Korea, Denmark, and Colombia?
Thank you. Look, I think for us, I graduated over 40 years ago, and I know I'm still learning. So I think for everyone here, it's important that whatever company can do to promote itself with educators and students, to give opportunities for technical seminars, webinars, presentations, guest lectures. We do that around the world, and we're happy to do that when
Great. Thank you so much, Jeff. And Rasmus, at the city level, how do you share your experience in order to stimulate collaboration and network activities between Chungcheongnam-Do province and Bogota city?
Well, Peter, we're eager to serve as inspiration, motivation, and as a case study if you wish to embark on a similar journey of energy and cost efficiency simultaneously. Through C40 cities and strategic sector partnerships, we are already sharing our experiences with other cities around the world. And as I always say, others are more than welcome. If others can use our experience, learn from us, and vice versa, and ultimately we can reduce energy consumption in our cities, we move closer to reaching the paramount climate targets in the Paris Agreement. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And Professor Yun, at the national level, what is your recommendation for international collaboration among P4G countries, especially Korea, Colombia, and Denmark?
I think we can share and maybe communicate with each other because we have many experience. Even though our focus on environmental education was not strong enough, but we have many experience, I think, especially not just elementary school, middle school, and high school, especially university I belong to. We have some kind of green leadership program, and we raised and prepared future green leaders. So we have many experience. School can be a living lab, and we can experiment many educational programs, so we can communicate each other and share experience.
Thank you. And for P4G, now you are heavily engaged in all the session. Here during the first day, hearing these input from Colombia, from Denmark, and from Korea, how do you think that MOFA and the P4G secretary, the hostship from Korea, can actually facilitate this smart education program?
Thank you, Peter. I think this is all about the partnership. And so I am very happy to take part in this process. Before I'm posted in and back to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I have served 2 years Secretary General Mr. Ban Ki-moon, and one of my important mission is to empowerment of the younger generation. I'm also the father of a son and daughter. And it is so sad, and it is so unfair. As Professor Yun pointed, the future belongs to the younger generation, not the old people. But until now, the old boys and old people always trying to decide the future of the younger generation. But we need the change and the innovation for younger generation. I have recognized to see the result of the survey last year. Nowadays, younger generation want to take education by themselves, living lifestyle, not just take the instruction of the teacher. So I think this Green Smart School project will serve to the hope and the wish of the younger generation. As I said, P4G is the partnership, so partnered with the Colombia and Denmark, and also our local government, Chungnam. We will make and we can promote this kind of a partnership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chungju Lee. We are running a little bit out of time, so my last comment is to you, Governor Yan. On behalf of the local government of Korea, if you could share your master plan vision for how to include future generation into international collaboration.
예, 오늘 제가 발표한 그린 스마트 스쿨은 덴마크, 콜롬비아와 함께 푸른 하늘, 깨끗한 지구를 만드는 세계의 모델이 될 것이라고 생각합니다. 우리 충청남도는 연간 2만 명이 참여하는 충청남도 기후환경연수원의 에너지 중심, 교육 중심, 조명 중심의 그린 스마트 스쿨 실증 모델을 2024년까지 적용할 예정입니다. 우리 정책 입안자들, 또 우리 전문가분들, 우리 모든 기성세대들은 미래 세대를 위한 의무에 절대 잊지 말아야 될 것을 생각하고, 그런 점에서 충청남도가 이런 점에서 앞장서겠다는 말씀을 드리면서 그린 스마트 스쿨 모델이 콜롬비아를 비롯해서 세계적으로 확산되기를 기대합니다. 또한 오늘은 덴마크 코펜하겐시, 콜롬비아 보고타시와 공동 협력하는 힘찬 첫걸음이 나는 나라라고 생각하고 충청남도 더욱 노력하겠다는 말씀을 드립니다. 고맙습니다.
Thank you so much. So today we have shared the opinion from experts from Korea, from Denmark, from Colombia. We have heard from GCF and from GGGI. GGGI's effort in Ulaanbaatar on how to energy retrofit public buildings, to form learnings from that, to actually trying to include on a global scale entrepreneurship as a way to address this topic. I think it has been a learning exercise to hear the cases from Korea, how the private sector from Rockwool can actually promote better energy but also learnings, as well learning from Korea about their desire to learn from other countries like Denmark and Korea. I wish that this debate can plant a seed for a P4G startup acceleration program to create green smart education living labs between the three countries. I want to thank you so much for your contribution, and I think we should give all our experts a round of applause.
All right, I appreciate it to all the participants of this talk show, and you can go back to your seat. 네, 오늘 행사의 세 번째 세션을 위한 자리 세팅을 위한 준비 시간 갖도록 하겠습니다. 내빈 여러분들은 또 한 번 잠시만 기다려 주시면 감사하겠습니다. This concludes the talk show. We will take a 1-minute break to prepare the partnership signing event.
우리는 끊임없이 무언가를 만들고 그것을 발전이라고 부릅니다. 생활은 편리해졌지만 이상하게도 점점 숨쉬기는 불편해졌어요. 시간은 이제 얼마 남지 않았습니다.
우리는 되돌릴 수 있습니다. 되돌릴 수 있습니다. 되돌릴 수 있습니다.
나부터 시작하는 푸른 한 해를 위한 약속, 무엇이 있을까요?
안 쓰는 전기 코드는 뽑아두기. 승용차는 잠시 멈추세요.
플라스틱 비닐 대신 장바구니.
자원 재활용은 미래를 위한 착한 소비랍니다.
내 일상의 작은 변화가 푸른 한 해를 지키기 위한 위대한 약속이 됩니다.
함께 시작해요.
우리는 끊임없이 무언가를 만들고 그것을 발전이라고 부릅니다. 생활은 편리해졌지만 이상하게도 점점 숨쉬기는 불편해졌어요. 시간은 이제 얼마 남지 않았습니다.
우리는 되돌릴 수 있습니다. 되돌릴 수 있습니다. 되돌릴 수 있습니다.
나부터 시작하는 푸른 하늘을 위한 약속. 무엇이 있을까요?
안 쓰는 전기 코드는 뽑아두기. 승용차는 잠시 멈추세요.
플라스틱 비닐 대신 장바구니.
자원 재활용은 미래를 위한 착한 소비랍니다.
내 일상의 작은 변화가 푸른 하늘을 지키기 위한 위대한 약속이 됩니다.
함께 시작해요.
네, 그럼 오늘 행사의 세 번째 행사, 세 번째 세션으로 넘어가도록 하겠습니다. 오늘 세 번째 세션은 충청남도 교육청 김지철 교육감님이 함께 해주시겠습니다. Let's start the partnership signing event now. 지철 Kim, Governor of Chungcheongnam-Do Office of Education of the Republic of Korea, as a moderator, lead this session.
예, 여러분 안녕하세요. 저는 충청남도 교육감 김지철입니다. 먼저 귀중한 행사에 여러분들과 함께 하게 되어서 매우 기쁩니다. 미래 세대의 푸른 하늘을 위해서 더 늦기 전에 지구를 위한 행동에 함께 해주실 여러분 진심으로 고맙습니다. 이제 환경 문제는 우리 모두의 삶을 위한 생존의 문제입니다. 탄소 중립 실현으로 우리 미래 세대들이 지속 가능한 내일을 보장받을 수 있도록 우리의 작은 실천이 큰 파도가 되어 전 세계를 넘실대도록 해야만 할 것입니다. 학교는 학생들에게 탄소 중립 실현과 생태 문명 전환의 학습장이 될 수 있도록 학교 공간의 혁신과 다양한 환경교육 프로그램이 연동되는 그린 스마트 미래 학교를 만들어가야만 합니다. 탄소 중립을 실천할 학교를 만들기 위해서는 학교 시설에 대한 아낌없는 투자가 선행되어야만 합니다. 고효율 설비 자재 사용, 태양광 발전 등을 활용한 제로에너지 학교 조성, 유해 물질이 없는 친환경 자재 사용 등으로 건강한 학교 공간을 만들 수 있도록 해주십시오. 지역 환경단체와 지자체, 교육청, 학교는 서로 협력 체제를 구축하여 학생들이 체험하고 실천하는 환경교육으로 탄소 중립에 앞장서는 시민으로 성장할 수 있도록 해주신다면 우리 아이들은 푸른 하늘과 맑은 공기를 마음껏 누릴 수 있을 것입니다. 늦었다 생각하여 멈춘다면 우리의 내일은 더 이상 없습니다. 여러분, 지금도 결코 늦지 않았습니다. 우리 아이들이 깨끗한 지구에서 행복한 미래를 배울 수 있도록 동행해 주시기 바랍니다. 세션 3에서는 2050 탄소 중립을 위해 우리에게 주어진 의무를 다하자는 의미를 담아 정책 위반자 20명과 그리고 미래 세대 50명이 파트너십 선언을 진행합니다. 이 공동선언을 통해 미래 세대를 위해 하나됨을 강조하고 P4G 회원국 간의 협력을 다지게 됩니다. 우선 미래 세대를 대표하여 청년 아티스트로서 국제적으로 활동하고 있는 레드 벨벳이 응원 영상을 보내주셨는데요. 함께 비디오로 만나겠습니다.
해피니스! 안녕하세요. 레드벨벳의 wendy입니다. 네, 2021 P4G 서울 정상회의와 함께 열리는 특별 세션인 푸른 하늘을 위한 미래 세대의 그린 스마트 교육을 논의하는 행사 개최를 진심으로 축하드립니다. 우! 네, 저희 레드벨벳은 지난 2020년 UN의 기념일인 푸른 하늘의 날 홍보대사로 위촉되어서요. 한 해 동안 인연을 맺고 활동했습니다. 환경을 보호하고 개선하기 위해서 우리가 지금 당장 실천해야 할 여러 가지 활동이 있겠지만 미래 세대를 위한 기후의 환경에 대한 교육도 매우 중요하다고 생각을 하는데요. 오늘 이와 관련된 여러 가지 논의를 하는 시간이어서 더욱더욱 뜻깊은 시간인 것 같습니다. 오늘 행사가 세계 청소년들이 기후 환경에 대해 지속적으로 관심을 가지고 또 일상 속 실천을 위해 적극적으로 참여할 수 있는 계기가 되길 바라겠습니다. 저희 레드벨벳도 푸른 하늘을 지키기 위해서 지속적인 노력과 관심을 가지겠습니다. 그럼 지금까지 레드벨벳의 웬디였습니다. 감사합니다.
네, 응원 메시지 잘 보았습니다. 한류 아티스트로서 환경 실천을 위한 메시지를 보내주셨는데요. 세계 시민으로서 더 좋은 지구의 미래를 함께 만들어 나가기를 소망해 봅니다.
Now, we declare a future generation for blue sky and net zero 2050 green smart education. The declaration will be accompanied by 50 from the future generations and 20 from policy-related experts. We gathered here to read the declaration for the blue sky. Also, the future generations of students who could not attend the current event place will present their promises on the screen. After reading the declaration, Korean, Danish, and Colombian students who participated online will make their promises to practice environmental protection. 그럼 지금부터 김지철 교육감님이 선언문을 대표로 낭독해 주시겠습니다.
하나, 세계 청소년의 기후 환경에 대한 지속적인 관심을 촉구하고 정책 입안자는 그들의 목소리를 경청한다.
Raise continued interest in climate and environment among global youth and listen to their voices.
하나, 정부, 국제기구, 기업 등 다양한 이해관계자들은 파트너십을 통해 청소년의 기후 행동에 적극적으로 참여할 수 있도록 기후 환경 교육에 기여한다.
Contribute to designing climate and environmental education that helps global youth actively engage in climate action through partnership among various stakeholders, including governments, the public and private sectors, financial institutions and industries, and international organizations.
UN 지속가능 개발 목표 달성, 기후변화 및 환경오염 대응, 탄소 중립 이행을 위한 혁신교육 모범 사례 개발과 확산을 위해 노력한다.
Attain the UN Sustainable Development Goals, tackle climate change and environmental pollution, and disseminate best practices of innovative education for carbon neutrality.
지금부터 현장에 참석하신 정책 입안자분들은 약속의 일환으로 서명을 해주시면 감사하겠습니다. 온라인으로 참여 중인 미래 학생들도 준비된 내용을 들어서 환경 실천의 약속을 표현해 주세요.
Now the representatives of each institution will come forward and declare the promise. In response to this declaration, the representatives of each institution will sign, agreeing that all they have made the promises. Now, please sign it.
Cristina Bonilla Ceba, secretaria de Educación de Bogotá, la capital de Colombia, uno de los países socios del P4G. En nombre de Bogotá, suscribo hoy el acuerdo de nuestra ciudad con la Asociación por las Generaciones Futuras para la Educación Ambiental y la Innovación Climática, con lo que nos comprometemos a desarrollar y difundir un modelo de educación ambiental para nuestros niños, niñas, jóvenes y adolescentes que les brinde las herramientas necesarias para enfrentar los desafíos del cambio climático y alcanzar los objetivos de desarrollo sostenible. Seguiremos avanzando como ciudad bajo el liderazgo de nuestra alcaldesa Claudia López en la construcción de un nuevo contrato social y ambiental para el siglo XXI.
네, 모두 사인을 해주셨네요. 오늘 이 자리가 미래 세대를 위한 푸른 하늘 그리고 2050 탄소 중립 실천을 위해 작지만 큰 발걸음이 되어서 앞으로 P4G 회원국들을 통해 멀리 확산되어 나가기를 기대하겠습니다. 마지막 순서로 다가가고 있습니다. 폐회사를 남겨두고 있는데요. 진행하겠습니다. Now I introduce Juan Carlos Kaiser Rosero, Embassy of Colombia and Korea. He will give a closing remark. Please give him a big round of applause.
Dear Ban Ki-moon, former Secretary General of the United Nations and Chairperson of Global Green Growth Institute, Frank Rieksbergman, Director General of Global Green Growth Institute, Shani Glimarik, Executive Director of Green Climate Fund, Chungcheongnam-Do, Governor of Chungcheongnam-Do, Einar Jensen, Ambassador, Embassy of Denmark in Korea, Children Kim, Governor of Chungcheongnam-Do of Education, Jeff Wilcox, Managing Director of Rockwall, Song Jun-jun, Professor, and greetings to all who are joining us live from their countries. I have to say that I feel very honored to take part in this special event. From the high-level participation to content of it, I'm truly convinced that this will be beginning of valuable opportunities for all of us. This kind of alliance are the example of the path forward, where we can share our experience and jointly scale up our actions against climate change. Education is a crucial element to raise awareness among young generations in order to transform our societies and to set our development path in a resilient, fair, and sustainable one. Likewise, this event comes in a key moment where COVID-19 has taught us valuable lessons as global community to overcome great challenges. We should keep prioritizing collaboration and cooperation between our societies in line with the goal of carbon neutrality. Today, between Denmark, Korea, and Colombia, we could share our values and commitments and forge a new alliance between our local governments. Young generations are witness of this and will keep working for a greener and smarter future that will foster ownership in our societies and foster innovative solutions to our current and future problems. Thank you very much for your invitations.
Thank you very much. 네, 오늘 여러분들과 정말 의미 있는 컨퍼런스였습니다. 미래 세대를 위한 푸른 하늘, 그리고 2050 탄소 중립을 위한 그린 스마트 교육을 위해서 아주 의미 있고 뜻깊은 우리의 노력과 의지가 잘 공유되었기를 바랍니다. It was such a wonderful conference together. I believe we could deliver important values for the Korea, Denmark, and Colombia green smart education for the future generation. 이곳 동대문 디자인 플라자에서 열린 오늘 행사는 이것으로 마치겠습니다. 늦은 시간까지 함께해 주신 여러분들께 진심으로 감사의 말씀드립니다. I'm so glad to close this conference that was held at the Dongdaemun Design Plaza. Enjoy this Monday and I hope to see you all next time. 그럼 마지막으로 기념사진 촬영을 하도록 하겠습니다. 내빈